And this helps the men too. I mean, why should they have to wear the horrible looking hooks and things like that?
I did a show quite some time back about inmates, well, not inmates, men just coming back from the war, coming in, they took off their arms and they let you see the, you know, the aftermath, and feet and legs. That was a very valuable program I did here.
Oh my gosh, I went to Walter Reed to meet with some of the patients there, and what a humbling experience that was. These boys, and they are boys. I don't care that they're 21. They are babies.
They're like babies. They haven't even had a chance to learn to live.
No, they haven't. And they just want to heal and get back and finish the job they started.
They want to go back. That's the thing. They want to go right back, Diane.
These are true heroes. There was a young boy who I talked to, and he was 19. Oh. And he said, well, he'd be in the hospital about a year and a half more. And but every one of these children had their mothers with them. Oh. Everyone. Nobody loves you like your mama loves you.
That's true, no matter what you do.
They all had their mothers with them. Some of them had their wives, and unfortunately, these marriages dissolve because these are still these young women are still girls, and they can't learn to deal with something like that.
But not to interrupt you, Diane, but I have learned that when they come home, they do turn to drinking.
Yes.
There is a lot of depression. Out of that comes domestic violence. So you see, we have all three. It all goes back around the circle. It's all three things.
Which is why this program of women joining forces is so important, because it teaches them other things to turn to other than alcohol and drugs. I mean, you know, people think that only a man batters, but women batter too.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something else. I'm getting ready to do something I've never done before. I'm going to work with men who have been abusers. Yeah. To work with them with the same program that I've been doing all this time with women, so that I can help turn them around. They need it because they, you know, we grew up, I saw my father beat my mother. My mother never called the police. So when I got beat up, I never called the police. But the women who are getting beat up now, they don't call the police because they have grown up in the same homes that we have grown up in.
That's right.
And the men, the boys, just little boys watch the beatings and they don't do anything. Daddy does nothing.
Well, see, my father was an abused man.
They take out the anger on the first woman in their lives, and then it just transcends to somebody else. So what do you think about that?
I think that's excellent.
I may call you for some help, but
well, that's okay too. You know a woman who is a therapist, and she works with the abuser, and I always said, how can you work with them? Don't you just want to just? And she said no. She said they have feelings, and there's a reason they're an abuser.
Anger.
Well, and she would probably be somebody very good for you to have on your show and talk to. She's in Bowie. She's a therapist.
If I can get the anger out of the men, that would be so wonderful. The transition would be like a new flower blooming, Diane. I mean, it would help break the cycle.
You know, we always look to help the women, but the men need help too.
They do. They have feelings
because,
too.
Well, and they have the same situations, just not as in a grand scale. And of course, as women, we look to help the other women because we don't want another woman to go through what we went through.
What we lived through.
And so we refuse to do that. And so we're sort of like, we're really driven.
Yes, we are.
To help other people. But you know, this on when women go to war, this is something like, who's going to remember in 2003 Shoshana Johnson, the first black female prisoner of war? Who's going to remember her name?
Nobody.
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 But she was the first for 22 days. I shut my eyes and I can remember what she looked like. Jessica Lynch, remember?
Yes,
West Virginia. She was captured and injured. Laurie Pisatwa, who died in combat. She was the first woman soldier to die in the 2003 Iraq conflict.
Right.
So, you know, there's so many things that we need to help the women with in this veterans program, which is going to be just an excellent program. And
well, if you need any help, you know, I'm here.
Yeah, because you're really good at helping the people with their self-esteem, and that's where we want to go.
I take them through the program. They learn their self-worth, and there's their self-esteem.
Yeah.
If you don't know your self-worth, you're going to take whatever anybody puts on your plate.
There's so many times we don't, and so we think that's all we're used to, and so that's what we accept.
That's all we were used to. When you're told you're nothing and a nobody, you think you're nothing and a nobody.
You know, it's what is it? Birds of a feather. So if that's that's what they tell you, that's what you believe.
And I dread this time of the year with football coming on, because now I have double work.
Oh yeah.
The football games, when the Redskins lose, or if whatever team loses, the guys get so upset they start drinking. They take it out on the girls or the women in their lives.
Yeah, that's the truth. Well, you know, being on the city council has really surprised me how many more people have contacted me about violence, domestic violence situations, and you know, it's made them feel they have somebody really on their side.
Because you're a woman. You've done a damn good job since being on the council.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
But I know all the other things that you don't go lax on anything. Everything still gets Diane's attention.
Well, yeah.
She focuses in on this.
Yeah,
you don't let anybody go.
No, but that's what I feel really good about, is that the women feel good that they can call me and have somebody that they can trust without meeting, and because they feel like they've met me already, because they'll see you on the TV and they'll see me in the community, because I get out in the community, so they know, they feel they really know me.
The more they see you, the more they trust you.
And
too,
so,
Diane.
and they do. It's a big trust to say to somebody, you know, this is happening to me, and how can you help me? And so that's been just wonderful to do that. And the Boy Scouts have just blown my socks off. Oh my goodness! I've been to 30 court. They're called Eagle. Well, I've done 2 review boards, 3 review boards, and the others are the celebrations when they get their Eagle, and they really have to work hard for that.
Yes, they do.
And even the review board is tough. This young man comes in, he's under 18. They have to get it before they're 18. And they sit with 5 people hammering questions at him. And I said, you know, this is really your first job interview.
Yes.
It's really tough. It's not an easy thing. People think that's why there's, you know, it's like 1 in 100 make their Eagle. So, and we've had 30 in the 2 years that I've been on the council, and so I absolutely enjoy that, and I'm waiting to be invited to the girls when they get their gold star, because that's the equivalent of the boys' Eagle, and it's just amazing. So I really love doing the community, getting involved in the community and doing things with them.
What else would you do if you weren't doing this? Now think about it. Think about it. What else would you do if you weren't doing this?
If I wasn't doing the council?
If you weren't doing any of this, if you were just a woman who didn't have all of these responsibilities, you hadn't gone through all of this, at this time in your life, what would you be doing? What would Diane be doing? Oh,
probably laying around getting fat. I don't know. Reading, but I still get an opportunity to read. You know, because I don't look at it as responsibilities like that. I look at it as just something that I'm supposed to do, because, well, one, I enjoy doing it. I finally came to a realization about 30 years ago that you should do what you enjoy doing.
Exactly.
Because life is so short.
Life is very, very short.
So if you have to do something, it needs to be something you really enjoy.
Well, our show is almost over. What would you like to leave my audience with? Some words of wisdom, Diane.
Words of wisdom. Oh gosh, why did you put me on the spot? You should have told me I would have had a word of wisdom before we. Yeah, the best words of wisdom is that life is too short to worry about every little thing, and if things are out of control, if there's something you can't handle, you know, who you gonna call? Angie or Diane?
That's right.
Okay.
On that note, I want to thank you for being on here today. I want to thank all of you for watching. Until next time.
God, that's